All right, so there's been some fight news coming out recently, and it's Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. We're going to talk about that fight that got booked today. We're also going to talk about Amin Zahabi and Cheeto Vera. That fight was booked recently. And we're also going to talk about Sean Brady. Sean Brady's got an up and coming opponent. We're going to talk about who we think it is, who we think it should be, and then a little bit later on this week, there'll probably be a video coming about big matchups to make in each division, big ranked matchups. We're not doing none of this unranked bullshit, okay? Um, but the news was announced via Charles Oliveira, and he's going to be fighting Rafael Fiziev as the main event in UFC Brazil. I kind of like that we're getting a really big main event for a fight night. It's not a fucking Blanchfield or some shit. Like, we're getting a big, it's not a Delidzi Hernandez, not a big main event worthy fight. We're getting a big name in Charles Oliveira here. And we're getting Rafael Fiziev as well, coming off a win over Ignacio Bahamondes. We got Fiziev staying active. This is his third fight here in 2025, the Great Awakening year. And then we have Charles Oliveira, the story that everyone's saying, it's coming back very quickly. Who's this guy's manager letting him come back this quick? I kind of agree. This is very, very fast after getting KO'd by Ilia. And he didn't get just like TKO'd. Like, he didn't get, it wasn't like it was against Makhachev where he gets dropped and he gets submitted, where it's not like a crazy amount of damage, right? He's been TKO'd in the past. He got flatlined for the first time in his career, like absolutely flatlined, no TKO. He got slept bad by Ilia, unconscious on the floor with a nasty follow-up shot. So you sit there and you wonder and you go, is returning 105 days after, I believe it's going to be, too soon? The end of June, right? He gets flatlined. He comes back, let's say he gets back in the gym around now, right? He's doing a training camp around now. We're looking at an 8-weekish training camp if he starts now. That's a little quick, yes. But here's what I'm thinking about this is he's facing Rafael Fiziev, who's a very good fighter. He's very fast, he's dangerous, but he doesn't possess the crazy one-punch knockout power that I think he's been hyped up to have. He's fast, he's quick, his Muay Thai combinations are good, he's a very skilled striker, good takedown defense, but Charles Oliveira, I'd be scared if he was fighting a flatline KO artist this quick. If he was fighting honestly, Chandler would be a kind of guy that would like randomly chin him. You'd think, and then Chandler doesn't really fucking chin anybody. So you're like, well, I don't know. Maybe Gaethje would like KO Oliveira, but the grappling threat's so weak. I'm just trying to think. There are like flatline KO artists would do him dirty, I think, here. Poirier, right? If he was still fighting, Poirier could see getting a knockout in this fight here. Max Holloway, I could see getting a knockout here. Gaethje could. Again, I don't know that he would because the jiu-jitsu threat is just not there, and I think Charles would just jump the back immediately and choke him out. But maybe like a Patty doesn't knock him out or an Armin doesn't, but it's, a flatline KO artist would. And Fiziev's a very, very good striker. Very skilled, great Muay Thai, mixes things up very, very well in the striking. And he's dangerous, but he's fast dangerous. And when he gets knockouts, it's really not many flatlines, right? Like, it's in combination and it becomes a TKO. Like, I don't think he's spinning wheel kicking Charles Oliveira. I don't. I think Charles is going to be on the pressure, and I think that's going to be very uncomfortable for Fiziev, where he'll hit a couple of like, come over the top. Maybe he drops Charles Oliveira, but he's not going to the ground with Charles. He won't. And that's where I think I'm picking Charles in this fight. I think that this could be a dangerous matchup, but I don't think that Fiziev's going to flatline KO. Round one's going to be very, very scary. But in a 5-round main event, we know Rafael Fiziev gasses out in 3-round fights. Round 3, he is a completely different fighter, right? He's always much more tired. And you have Charles Oliveira, who's going to put him on the back foot the whole time, or try to. Land big punch, like Charles has power himself. Land big punches, elbows, knees, get to the clinch, land knees in the clinch, land elbows in the clinch. Fiziev short, so Charles is going to be able to land a lot of these shots in the clinch. And I think Charles is going to be able to grapple in this fight as well. Fiziev's takedown defense is amazing. But Charles Oliveira's grappling obviously is amazing. It's not like he's fighting Ilia. Ilia's takedown defense is going to be different than Fiziev, and Ilia's going to be willing to go to the ground with Charles Oliveira. Fiziev's not. The second this fight ends up on the ground, I think Fiziev being put on his back, he's going to look like a fish out of water. I think his takedown defense is good. I will question the jiu-jitsu. I will 100% question the jiu-jitsu here and saying, if he's on his back, is he going to know how to get out, get up, threaten with submissions himself? So I look at this fight and I think it's going to be a good matchup for Charles. He could get chinned. And it is scary. But once this leaves round one, this immediately becomes much less scary. And I think Charles is going to get it done by like a round 4 finish, maybe a round 3 finish. Listen, I think Charles' striking is good as well. I think his kicks are going to be very, very important in this fight. The low kicks, of course. Going to be able to land teep kicks, front kicks, elbows. Gonna have, again, like I've said a million times, the clinch work is going to be great and it's going to be big in this fight. The grappling is going to be great and it's going to be big in this fight. And I think that Fiziev is not going to be able to flatline him. I'm not expecting Fiziev to be able to get a flatline KO here. Like, who's he really done that to? He knocked out Moicano. Wasn't one of those, like, I think if you're going to chin Charles, he's got to be, like, done. Out cold. Because if he's not, what you're going to look at here is Charles on the ground trying to say, like, come into my guard. And Fiziev's going to go, ooh, I definitely don't want to be in his guard. And he's not going to go to his guard. So you have that. And I think as this fight drags out, it's going to be in Charles Oliveira's favor. It's in Brazil. I don't like that it's this short of notice for him. I do think this is a little short, but I think he's going to end up being okay in this matchup specifically. I think he will end up being all right. And it's just, it is short. Like, it is short after he got chinned. And that's what's really, really tough. So it's short after he got knocked out. But it's in Brazil, and I think the reason he's taking this is because it's in Brazil. That's what I see here. And the UFC better have a retirement package ready because, first of all, he's going to walk out to Ojinho, and the crowd's going to go nuts if they stay. Because, you know, the Brazilian crowd's not overly enthusiastic when things aren't going their way with the fighters. We've seen it multiple times. We see them walk out on Glover. That was not cool. But I think they're going to be there for Charles. He's going to have the hometown crowd. Maybe a little hometown cooking if this goes to decision. I'm just saying. But I think Charles is going to do enough to get it done. And I think he gets a finish. This is going to be a good moment for him in Brazil. But, like, if he does lose, he's probably going to retire. And that's where I look at this Brazil and being, if he goes to Brazil and he loses, that's his home area. It's going to be the best spot for him to retire. It's in Rio de Janeiro. So I am nervous for this. But I think Charles gets it done. I'm going to expect Charles to get it done here. I'm going to say initial prediction, round 3, round 4 TKO. Maybe a submission. So I'm picking Charles Oliveira in this fight. I think he gets it done. Another fight that got booked. Chito Vera versus Aiemann Zahabi. This is a 50-50. I don't really know. Like, Chito can win. But I can also see him, like, getting out grappled. But Zahabi's not, like, the greatest grappler. He's not. But I think Chito wins this one. I do. This is a winnable fight for Chito. I think Chito would have lost to a Batista. I think Batista's a lot better than Aiemann Zahabi. But I look at Aiemann Zahabi, who's 38 years old. Yes, he beat Aldo. Kind of. Close. Very, very close. Almost got chinned by Aldo. Almost got, like, was getting pieced up by Aldo, and Aldo just gassed out. Marlon Chito Vera is not going to gas out, and this is going to be low output for a low output. I think this fight is going to suck. I do not expect this to be the main event. This better not be the fucking main event, dude. Let me take a look. Headed to Vancouver. They didn't say it's going to be the main event, where with Charles, it's supposed to be the main event. They didn't really say it, but Charles's fight is supposed to be the main event. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be the main event, bro. They're not going to make this main event UFC Canada. Marlon Chito Vera versus the big guy, Aiemann Zahabi. No, they're going to have a bigger one. They need to have a bigger one. But I think this is winnable for Chito. Like, Aiemann Zahabi's not the greatest. Like, he can grapple, but I don't think he's going to be overly dominant in the grappling. He might have some moments where he's able to hold Cheeto against the cage. And yes, Cheeto takes forever to get going and it's annoying to watch. But I do think that it's the right kind of fight to make for Cheeto because it's a winnable one for him where the fans will be like, oh, like a winnable fight for Cheeto. But it's also a situation where he is still fighting down in the rankings, which is what he needs to be doing because his last win is Pedro Munoz. Come on, guys. So I say Cheeto versus Zahabi is a decent matchup to make in terms of making sense. I will pick Cheeto Vera to win a 29-28 decision here. Zahabi's 38. He's also very, very low output. And Cheeto Vera, yes, is low output, but he's going to do more with the kicks. His punches are going to mean more. I'm going to pick Cheeto Vera to get this one done. And I think that Cheeto doesn't really wear scar tissue. Like, he doesn't have scar tissue, where I think he'll cut up Zahabi a little bit here. So I'm going to pick Cheeto Vera. Last thing we're going to talk about is Sean Brady posted a guess who. He's getting his fight. He's getting his location. He's getting his opponent. We don't know who. Some people are speculating a couple different options. Shavkat Rakhmonov is one of them. I would love that fight. If they put Sean Brady, Shavkat Rakhmonov as a 5-round co-main event for the UFC Abu Dhabi card, UFC 322 or 21, I believe it will be, the Aspinall Gane card, and then a co-main event of, or if they do a title fight and then do this as the feature fight, like Shavkat versus Sean Brady is sick. I think that's a tremendous fight. He puts a picture up here, and we're like, how are we supposed to guess who it is with that fucking hairline? How am I supposed, like, he's obviously not fighting Damon Jackson, so we can rule that one out with this hairline right here. Uros Benic? He's not. Medic just got a knockout, and I just watched it. I don't know who it's going to be with this hairline. I can go to the rankings, but, like, it's not Usman, because it does have a little bit of hair. It's not going to be Leon, it could be Ian Gary. Realistically, but that hairline is just... Everyone's trying to... I don't care. The hairline is too weird. IDK. It could be Shavkat. Let's not base it off the picture, though. Come on. Could be Shavkat. Honestly, it looks like a UFC 5 created guy that he just, like, put the fucking silhouette in of. But I don't think it's going to be Buckley. Buckley's going to be fighting down after losing to Usman. I don't think it's going to be Morales because I think Morales and Leon Edwards is the perfect kind of matchup to make. We obviously know it's not going to be Bilal or Leon Edwards because he's already fought the both of them. He's got to be fighting a guy for a number one contender spot. There's 3 options. It's Usman, it's Shavkat, it's Ian Gary. I don't think that we're going to see Brady versus Usman because that would leave Shavkat and Ian Gary kind of left around. And you could end up having Shavkat versus Bilal get matched up, sure, and then Ian Gary versus who, though? Usman? Guess you could do that, but Usman's going to be looking for a guy that's, he doesn't want to fight Bilal at this point. He should. That's the fight that should be made, and I think they're going to hold off on any Usman thing until they realize it's, hey, you want to fight Bilal, or that's because that's really all we're going to offer to give you here. I think that it should be Brady versus either Shavkat or Ian Gary, number one contenders fight. I think it should be Shavkat. Shavkat's on this fucking Mickey Mouse schedule, man, and he needs to be more active. I would like to see Sean Brady versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think it's the best fight you can possibly make at welterweight that's not for a title. Then you do Usman versus Bilal. You do Gary versus... I don't know, you let Gary sit for a second and have him fight the winner of, or have him fight like if Sean Brady loses, Sean Brady after that. Maybe you end up matching up with Joaquin Buckley or something. I don't know what you do with Gary at this point, but I think it's got to be Sean Brady versus Shavkat Rakhmonov or Sean Brady versus Ian Gary. Those are my 2 guesses. Would love to see Shavkat Rakhmonov. I also would love to see Ian Gary too because they're going to talk shit at the press conference. I think the location is going to be Abu Dhabi. I think it's going to be either Abu Dhabi or maybe they sign for MSG. You have this at MSG and you have an automatic backup opponent for Islam versus JDM if something happens. I actually think, you know what? I'm changing up. MSG in November against Ian Gary. I think that's going to be my guess. Ian Gary, and then you have Shavkat versus like an Usman, and then Bilal versus a fucking Mike. I don't know. I don't know what you do with Bilal. There's going to be someone left out, but you know what? These guys have been overly inactive anyway at points in time. So, like, I know Brady's been active. I know that Gary's been active as much as I don't like him. Leon's never really active. Never really is. You have Usman, who hasn't been active. You have Shavkat, who's not active. You have Bilal, who tries to be active, but he did end up getting hurt. I think he's going to want to stay active and end up in Abu Dhabi. I'm going to say it's Ian Gary, MSG in November. Feature fight, number one contenders fight. That's what I would do. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Drop in the comments and let me know who you think it is.